A very good morning to esteemed panel of judges, the ever-punctual timekeepers, fellow contestants, and last but not least, members of the floor. Please take your seat and enjoy a trip to an inspiring speech about a young warrior of Sarawak. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, the young warrior whom I dedicate this speech to is none other than ROSLY DHOBY, a familiar name among the people of Sarawak. He was born on 18 March 1932 in Kampong Pulau Sibu, the second child in the washerman family. His father, DHOBY bin Buang, originated from Indonesia and was a descendant of Raden. His mother came from a Sambas family and settled for a long time in Mocha. He had an elder sister and a younger brother, Fatimah and Aini. He was taught to practice his Islamic beliefs in his daily life. He was a dedicated devote that even in his last days, he reminded his family to never skip the prayers. He was a member of Rukun 13, an active organization in the anti-secession movement of Sarawak, along with Murshidi Sidek, Awang Ramli bin Deli, and Bujang Suntong. He was well known for his assassination of Duncan George Stewart, the second governor of colonial Sarawak, in 1949, a mission which led to the end of his life. ROSLY joined Rukun 13 at the age of 16 in August 1948. He was introduced to the organization by his friend, Awang Ramli. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, on 3rd December 1949, Duncan George Stewart, the aforementioned appointed governor of Sarawak, was murdered by Rukun 13 members, including ROSLY and his friends. ROSLY and Murshidi were among the crowd that welcomed the governor for his arrival in Cebu. After inspecting the guard of honor, the governor proceeded to meet a group of children in near proximity of ROSLY. The governor stopped to allow Murshidi to take a photograph of him. ROSLY ambushed and stabbed the governor. ROSLY was arrested and sent to Kuching and later to imprisonment. The governor was flown back to Kuching for treatment and later to Singapore, where he died a week after the treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, after a few months languishing in prison, ROSLY DHOBY and his friends were found guilty of murder and sentenced to death on 4th December 1949. This move was criticized by many, as ROSLY was a juvenile at the time of assassination. ROSLY was subsequently brought to the news on the morning of 2 March 1940 at the Kuching prison. Fearing the harassment of local population, the British government forbade ROSLY's body to leave the prison. Instead, his body was interred with an unmarked grave within the prison compound. After Sarawak merged with Malaysia on 16 September 1933, a tombstone was put in his place at his grave near the Islamic Heritage Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, during his last days, ROSLY used the time to pray and recite the Yasin. The night before his execution, ROSLY couldn't sleep but was calm, unlike some other prisoners who cried, screamed, howled, and even talked to themselves. ROSLY did not regret his action and what befell him. He was more than a candle who burned itself to illuminate others. He was willing to risk his body soul for the sake of future Sarawakians. It has proved that acts of patriotism knows no age. My speech has come to an end, and let me gratefully end it with an inspirational quote by Winston Churchill. Success is not a final, and failure is not a fatal. It is a courage that counts. Thank you for your unwavering attention, and cheers to the 60th Independence Day of Sarawak.